going to talk about Iju Ese.
Okay. So
Iju Ese.
Okay. I was going to say, what Iju Ese?
Okay. Iju Ese is when a family inquires about the other family. So this happens between a guy who's a potential groom to the bride.
Okay.
So basically, let's say in a situation where a guy wants to marry a woman, his family will go and inquire to figure out and know more about the other family. So I got Iju Ese. So they do the investigation.
Okay.
This is where, like, in Igbo culture, they'll go and it's okay. Gamate ndi ebahasi. And of course, this is always easier when you and that person come from the same country, and the family can just, like, you know.
Even same tribe.
Or same tribe specifically.
Yeah, because I don't know if every tribe does that aside from Igbo tribe.
That's true. Good point. So in Igbo land, this is something where Igbo parents love it when you're marrying another Igbo, so they can go they can go Iju Ese.
They can go all the way trace all the way back to the village.
all the way down to the village, and they do it.
Who's their mother? Who's their father? Who's their uncle?
So Iju Ese, it has benefits in my perspective because it helps you understand the family's lineage history, and it helps you understand even things like medical. It helps you understand their past. It helps you know, okay, what is the family known for, good and bad? Because you don't want your child in a situation where they're inheriting bad stuff because of that family. So,
For me, I think you kind of already know where I stand on it. I'm going to give like two reasons why I feel that it's a little outdated.
Iju Ese.
Yeah, with the time we're in right now.
Let's go.
Okay.
Talk about it.
So, number one, medical. Medicine, the advancement of medicine, right? Because before, part of it is like, okay, let's see what disease runs in the family, and again, just so like you don't want your child to marry someone else who has, a history of like
chickenpox,
diabetes and stuff, like genetic stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But nowadays, like, we can find that ourselves. Like, you can literally, because some people, before they get married, like, they check their blood. Like, they make sure that, one person is not like a sickle cell carrier. Advancement of medicine also helps too, because a lot of times, like, people are looking to see, okay, what genetic disease or what, do they have in the family? So you're asking around, you're looking to see, okay, so and so, who knows about them? Like, is there anything we should be aware of?
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Also, that's one. People also try to see, like, how's the family dynamics? Has there been divorce and stuff like that?
Right.
Before that one, like, with social media, you can see all of that too.
You can't really see that with social media.
I guess. And then, like, okay, so that one, so the advancement of medicine is one. And then the other is the fact that we're in a whole different country. So I feel like for people in diaspora, it's a little different. If you're like in Nigeria and everyone is like in close proximity, you can easily like, find out about the family. But now, like, people are marrying someone whose family is like from New York.
So they're not even Igbo or Nigerian now.
They're not Igbo or Nigerian. Even if they're Igbo and you're living in Maryland, how do you know what do you know about the family in New York? Unless it's something that they tell you.
You can definitely still do Ese. You can still do it.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's like the only information you have is the one that's diverged to you.
Okay.
Or, stuff that you find out when you start talking to the parents.
Okay.
But the whole point of, like, before you even get to that point, talking to the parents, that means you accepted the person. So at that point, it's a little too late, in a way.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, like, the main reasons, like, the main reasons this stuff started is, okay, make sure that, okay, you're married from a family that that doesn't come from, like, like, bad genetics or whatever.
Yeah.
That's one. You want to make sure that it's a good home.
Okay.
And nowadays, like, even divorce is not as
predictable.
Not even predictable. It's not as shameful as it was before. Because before it was like a taboo.
Right. So people have less shame. They can divorce easily.
People have less shame, and there's more. It's so prominent that you cannot use it as a knock on someone as a reason why you should marry from that family. Compared to like maybe like 20 years ago,
because
or even,
you would if you found that out. Iju Ese, let's say in the past, that's a shame.
That's
mark.
like a taboo, like
we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Okay.
There's divorce, we don't do that. But now it's like almost sadly, like 50% of marriages, sadly.
I'm not even almost sadly, like.
Nah, it's not sadly. It's
sadly.
sad, yeah. Sadly, like. I mean, it's like, data shows that 50% of marriages, I think it's even a little bit more now, ends in divorce.
Oh, no, la que.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah, even Nigerians are also adapting it too. People, we see it everywhere. People separate and divorce.
Well, because they're becoming Americanized, so.
I guess.
Yeah.
That it made it like a thing where, like, okay, the parents are divorced, and so that's almost like it.
Child. That's a drum roll. Bow.
Yeah, and then the other part with just being that for like you wouldn't be like people are not like marrying. People go off to college. They fall in love with different races, you know, and you can't stop that.
Yeah. So
like if your child is marrying like I don't know.
Someone who's not African.
Someone who's not African, like someone who's like from Asia or something. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to fly to Asia?
We must go.
Fly to Asia.
We must go. So you know what? Iju Ese in modern day would be more difficult. To be specific, right? And yeah, your example is perfect because a lot of young people they found their spouse in college or something, and they're not from that tribe or they're not even African. Iju Ese is going to be hard, and that probably doesn't happen. I doubt it happens. But I would disagree with you on the side where Iju Ese, as an Igbo person, because if we're in Texas and I'm Iju Ese, right? It's all about a phone call, and then that person will inquire. You can send investigators, and they'll start.
Investigators went to where? Asia?
To the village. No. I can yama onya analo bonibo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can still do it, but you may not get all the information clearly.
Yeah,
but you still can have someone inquire where they're from to make sure they're not a ghost.
No, that's true because I know even for us, like we're from the same place. Like your parents didn't know my parents,
right?
But they knew people that know my parents, that know my family,
and they asked. They inquired.
Yeah.
They inquired.
So if you're the same, especially if you're Igbo's like we're all connected somehow. You can know someone that knows someone. that know the uncle.
You must know the community. No shaking. That's in Israel.
So I feel like that's the only way it works.
Is.
But we're not. Again, we're in a place where like there's so many other options aside from like your own tribe.
Right, and you know what? Ultimately, some of these beautiful things that we have, like Iju Ese, that are practical, they do become not phased out, but they become difficult to maintain.
As,
we expand outside.
To maintain, and I feel like even the reason for it also like starts fading. That's really what I'm kind of like alluding to. Okay. Like the reasons are fading. Like the whole genetics thing. There's other ways now to make sure that you guys are medically fit or whatever, like that your blood type doesn't clash, all of that.
But you know what? The Iju Ese on the medical side, they're still trying to inquire the family. That doesn't deter the family line, what happens in the family. But you're saying
that's
medically,
that's a big part of it.
You can keep yourself healthy to avoid what happens in your family.
No, not just even that. Like it's like like before, there's fear of like like this person's in this person's family, this thing runs in it, and they don't want their grandkids to have that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But like we're in a time where with advancement of medicine, whatever, there's a lot of stuff now that can be maintained and taken care of. That it's not like a life sentence type thing. Yeah.
Well, hey, it's been a good one. We'll see what happens with the Iju Ese, but that's the moral of where we are.
Yeah.